iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. Going to do another NFL draft preview. Today I'm going to do the running backs. Just a little note here, fantasy football-wise, a couple of things I want to talk about. 3 things. Pat Shurmur saying all the right things. Odell Beckham will absolutely be with the team in 2018. If you're a Giant fan, you've got to be ecstatic about that. I love the word absolutely. That should remove all doubt. Love to see that. I don't know what the Giants would be without Beckham. I don't even want to think about what the Giants would be without Beckham. I just want to appreciate his greatness. Mike Williams from the Chargers says he feels 100%. He never was 100% last year, ever. So I'm actually very excited about this because this guy's a tremendous talent, and I think he's going to be better than Tyrell Williams. I do. I mean, Keenan Allen Roto is a star. We know that. But I think Mike Williams could really be a fantasy star is the wrong word, but upside in fantasy, maybe a wide receiver 3 by the end of the season. It's quite possible. I think you draft him as a 4 and you get 3 out of him, which would be pretty good. All right, next likely here, Baker Mayfield. Definitely in play at number 1. I've got to give the Browns some credit here because I don't really know who they're picking. I think it's Josh Allen, but could it be Sam Darnold? Could it be Baker Mayfield? I actually think Baker Mayfield makes a lot of sense for the Browns, maybe even more sense than Allen. Allen makes sense to me because he's a big, strong kid who can throw into the wind, and he's got a big arm, and the Browns have a deep passing game with Coleman and Gordon. But I think I like Mayfield more for them. Mayfield will know how to use Landry, and you just paid Landry a lot of money. You've got to get him the football. I worry that Josh Allen can't get him the football. Baker Mayfield, those are exactly the routes. Landry runs the routes and Mayfield can throw. I think Mayfield's a winner, and I think that the Browns need a change of culture. You bring Josh Allen in. Are you bringing in a winner? I don't know about that. You bring in Baker Mayfield, you're bringing in a winner. I was talking about this with this friend of mine. You know, when he's on the other team, you hate him. He's kind of a dick. But when he's on your team, you're like, he's our dick. You know, I like him. So I think if, you have Mayfield, you want to have him and you're happy with him. So be very interesting to see what happens there. All right, let's get to the running back preview. Got to start with none other than Saquon Barkley. And I can just tell you this. This guy's a star of epic proportions. I know his family. I know his dad. I know his grandpa. I know his uncle. I'm telling you this right now. This kid comes from a family of athletes and is a really, really talented guy. If the Giants pass on him, I will be very upset. I think this is exactly what the Giants need. Take a little pressure off Shepard. Take a little pressure off Ingram. Take a little pressure off Beckham. Give Eli a running game, which he doesn't have. Saquon Barkley can catch. He can run. He is strong as a bull. This guy, there's nothing he can't do. You can't screw this up if you're the Giants. Here's how you screw this up. By not drafting him. Seriously. But Dr. Roto, running backs aren't as valuable. The good ones are. You think Ezekiel Elliott's valuable? You think Leonard Fournette's valuable? You think Christian McCaffrey's valuable? You think Alvin Kamara is valuable? I think all these guys are valuable. Saquon Barkley could be better than all of them. Maybe not Ezekiel Elliott, but right up there with him. I mean, that's where I see him. I see him as Ezekiel Elliott. So not only do I see him as an impact player in real football, I see him as an impact player in fantasy football. Why can't he be a late first-round pick? I could probably even argue I could take him at 7 and 8 if he ends up on the right team with the right offensive line, who's going to feed him the football. I mean, this is a guy you don't screw up. 6 feet, 230 pounds, runs a 4.4, catches the ball better than like David Johnson and Reggie Bush. What more can I offer you than Saquon Barkley? And like I said, this guy is from a family of athletes. His dad was a boxer. His uncle, Iran Barkley, a former world champion. This guy knows about working out and keeping in shape. This is not a guy who's going to pork up in the summer weighing 260. This is a guy who's a beast. You draft him. That's what I'm telling you. All right, Darius Geis to me is very, very interesting. He's not the biggest dude around. He's only 5'10", but he runs, not the strongest guy either, but he does run a 4.4. I give him credit for that. He was very good in 2016, not as good in 2017 because of the injuries, but this is a guy who's an impact player. My problem with him is I just think that he's a little slight, okay? And he's got a good burst, but not a huge burst. So I think he needs to work on a bunch of things. I think he needs to work on his pass protection. I think he needs to work on his receiving skills. I think he needs to figure out his burst. He's a good running back. I just don't know whether he's a superstar. But look, I could be off on that. Maybe he is. I don't usually like guys who are kick returners who are also running backs. That makes me nervous. Tells me they're too slight in the NFL. But my biggest concern is that this guy's a knucklehead. He's got some knucklehead problems here. At the combine, he was a little weird. He weirded the scouts out. He answered a lot of the questions that they weren't happy with. So I think this guy falls late first round, maybe day 2. It's going to be a question of, I've heard that he's not even on some draft boards, right? Some people are just taking him off saying this guy's a nut job, right? You don't need another Ocho Cinco going on here with Darius Geis. I don't know whether it's that bad or whether the kid just thought he was being funny. We'll have to see, but I think he's a late first, early second pick. The guy I'm actually very concerned with is Sony Michel. There's some rumor that has him with medical issues. So going back to Geis and going with Sony Michel, I think these guys are going to play a similar amount. Geis is going to get about 15 touches a game. I think Sony in the NFL, I think Sony Michel could actually get 20 because he can catch. He can catch a football. I mean, how good was he in the championship game? Seriously. 9 receptions? Didn't he get like 9 receptions for close to 100 yards and a touchdown? I mean, he's a pretty good player. I mean, he is strong, he is fast, and what I love about the guys who played at Georgia, because he played with Nick Chubb, who I'll get to in a few seconds, they're not overused. I wouldn't say they're gently used either, but I'm saying it's not like he's got so many carries under his belt. He could come to the NFL and be very productive. I like Sony Michel a lot. I would take him over Geis, personally. Maybe there's more upside with Geis. I could get behind that argument, but I think there's downside as well. I think there's downside with Geis. I think if Geis ended up on Roto World saying that he did something stupid in some Miami club, to shock me. If Sony Michel did, I'd be like, really? I didn't see that coming. Right? So if I'm investing in a first or second round pick, I'm probably not investing in knuckleheads. Unless the knucklehead is so far superior to anybody else on the board, and like Lawrence Taylor. Guy's a whack job. But you know what? He's also the greatest linebacker of all time. You say what you want. He was the greatest to me that I ever saw. Seriously. A lot of great linebackers. I think he was the best I ever saw. I'm willing to put up with his shenanigans because he's that good. Is Geis that good? I'm not sure. Sony Michel, very similar player. And I think that he will be a very good pro. The medical issues, when we hear these medical issues, hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. Okay, firstly. Secondly, there's probably 5 or 6 teams that'll just take him off the draft board. And then there'll be 5 or 6 teams that say, I don't care, I'm in on him. The best teams always figure out how to draft the best players. You watch. Sony Michel will end up in the right spot. He's a very good running back. Also from Georgia is a running back who I happen to like a whole lot. I like Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb to me is, I'm going to say he's very much a LeGarrette Blount. Not a great pass receiver, really hard to take down, very, very strong, can dominate on first and second down, but I think he's more willing as a receiver than Blount. Blunt's the kind of guy who catches like 10 catches a year, maybe. I think Chubb might be able to get you 2 a game, right? You could use him on first and second down when you can't really use Blount. But I think Nick Chubb, this guy had like 29 reps at the combine. I mean, he was blowing guys away. He's strong as an ox. And, he comes from a great program, right? He comes from a great program at Georgia, highest level, and is a really, really good runner. Is he explosive? No. Is he ground and pound? Yes. Can he get me 6 yards? Yeah. Can he get me a yard at the goal line? Yeah. He's not elusive. This guy's not going to dance around you. He's going to run right through you. Alfred Morris did the same thing. Did he have a good career in the pros? He did. Do I like Nick Chubb on the Lions? Yeah. I know they signed Blount, but Nick Chubb could learn a lot from Blount. Let Blount stay there for a year and let him get him out. And then let Nick Chubb be the new running back there. I like that spot for him. I like its spot. I think Chubb could have some fantasy value, especially in TD-only leagues. Not so much PPR, but TD-only leagues. He's a big dude at the goal line. Going to be hard to take him down. And the last guy I want to talk about today is Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones went to USC. He was a pretty darn good runner. Doesn't fumble at all, basically. And he's a willing runner who, he's not a great pass catcher, but he's good in. He'll stand in with the blitz, stay there, and he'll try to pass protect. He's a good enough runner. He's a good, solid running back. But I'm not sure he's anything more than a day 3 kind of guy. Is he good? Yes. Is he an NFL starter? Maybe. But I think he's more of a guy who can do 12 to 15 carries a game as opposed to a guy who can get 15 to 20 touches a game. I just don't see him getting that many touches. I just don't picture it. Not a good enough receiver out of the backfield. I mean, a willing receiver, but not good enough. I think he's best used in a tandem. So will I draft Ronald Jones this year? Wait and see. I'll need to see where he ends up. I tend to think this won't be a year for him. I like Michelle more. I love Barkley. Barkley's a first-round pick to me. Michelle certainly could be a guy I would take in rounds 8, 9. I think Geis could end up as a guy I would draft this year. Nick Chubb certainly in a TD-only league. Jones, I just don't see that yet. That doesn't mean never. It just means I don't see it yet. We'll have to see where he gets drafted. All right, but right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Remember to check out ScoutFantasySports.com for the best information anywhere for myself, Adam Ronis, and Sean Childs, and Scout DFS. Use our optimizer, listen to the podcast, read the articles, and be a big winner in DFS. All right, guys, back tomorrow with more. This is Dr. Roto saying be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!